If you had a job where you come to work and people clap for you, it would change your entire mood.
Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump? Don't this hit make my people wanna jump?
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It won't take long when there's a song to help you set the pace.
This is pathetic.
Where we used to live. Why did you keep the mousetrap?
Life could be worse.
This is the worst. This is the worst. This is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wife. Baby, my heart's on fire.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down.
I'm bag of pixie dust. Contraband.
They're going to do the Mary Poppins thing. They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
Magic mirror on the wall. The fairest one of all.
Oh, bitch, you killed Kenny.
Kenny.
You fat hoe.
I get it. I'm not persecuted. I'm just an ass.
If you haven't subscribed to Lorraine yet and you're watching this, you suck.
Well, hello, all of you out there. This is Reina Creole, and welcome to my channel. And of course, welcome to the Spice Lounge, where we get down with some hot takes and spicy conversation about what's happening out there in the media and the interwebs and pop culture and all of that. And I just love talking with all of you every week, along with a group of my friends. And in that, in the opening trailer where you see Wendy Williams, who is one of my heroes, who says, having a show and have people clap for you, is one of the best feelings. And you guys clap for me by all of the amazing interaction that you do in the chat, not just with us on the panel, but with all of you in the chat. And I love that sense of community. And that's where I started from, in the chat, talking smack. So you guys in the chat hold a extra special place in my heart. And because the channel is growing, I'm going to be leaning a lot more on my mods lately. So you may ask a question. If I don't answer it and a mod answers it, please don't get offended. They are doing their job. So please do reach out to them for help, because I can't do the show without you mods either. So it's all a group. Teamwork makes a dream work, right? Well, speaking of dream work, I don't know if it's dreams or something else that people are smoking, but how about Disney, y'all? Dang. News has just been absolutely popping off. We're going to be, excuse me, lovely allergies. We are going to be talking about Disney dropping DEI. You're going to hear me say, do this, dropping a lot, because there's more that meets the eye when it comes to that. Beau DeMayo, who was the showrunner for X-Men 97, has finally broken his silence. We're going to take a peek into what he has had to say. And I think when you hear it, it's going to confirm what a lot of us were thinking. How can you fire a showrunner for a show that for all intents and purposes, was pretty much damn near perfect, especially when it came to comic book accuracy. So we're going to talk about that. And Disney is so butthurt that they got called out by the New York Post about how much it takes to go to their parks. So they've, produced something, an official statement, which I have never seen anything like this before. So we are going to go through that and let you know where we are going to call shenanigans all through that. So 79 of you folks here right now between YouTube and between X, and also on YouTube over there, and Ron's Fowler Bradley's Fun channel. I see you guys are screaming over there as well. So make sure you like this stream. And if you're over there on X, make sure you heart over there on X. I surely do appreciate it. So without further ado, let me bring in my my co-host. But before I do, I want to say thank you, Juliet, for being a member for 2 months. I so appreciate it, my dear. This is good morning, Lorena and chat. Well, good morning to you, Juliet, and thank you so much for being a channel member. Appreciate you, channel members. You like delicious cookies, All right, let's bring in the rest of our friends. So we've got Erica from Hanging with Erica and Rob, and we have Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. How are the two of you doing?
I'm tired. There was this thing that happened over the weekend, and it sucked all my energy.
You tired? You're tired. We got to get your stamina up, man.
Well, I'm happy to be wearing Disney's competition on
Oh,
this
wait,
screen.
hang on, wait. I got to blow you up. There you go. Show it off. There you go.
Oh wow, that top is epic.
And I got a mug.
And that mug is epic.
Got hot cocoa in it.
Wait, does that make you an epic muggle?
Yes.
An epic muggle.
Well, that you can get over at Stella Nova Resort. It's not sold over in the Epic Universe preview center. I can't even with just how awesome the merchandise is. That's where I got my my Aura wand stand over there. There's so much stuff that is coming. I fear for my wallet. It's a good thing I live here and I can kind of take my time getting stuff, because with just the sample of merchandise that we've seen and so much more to come. And I don't know if you guys saw, I forget who posted it. If it was Universal or one of the Universal fan accounts that posted a picture of all of the different wands that are going to be available in the French wand store. They are beautiful. They're so beautiful. Different color handles and metal finishes. And I didn't need another wand, but yeah, I do. All right, let's see who is here in the chat real quick, and then we are going to kick off the stream. We've got DJ Knight here all nice and early. He says, Lorena, good to see you, my dear. We've got Tom F in the chat. Says, welcome on in all. Thank you so much. One of my newest wrenches. I'm so glad he's here. We've got Marilyn M who says, hello, everyone. Hello, Lorena. We have got Retro Gamer 2408 who says, hello, Reina Creole and everyone. Well, hello, my dear. Glad you're here. Glad Thanatos Felicitas is here as well, saying hi to me and everyone there in the chat. We got Legnuts, the smooth poet, is in the chat. Good to see you, my darling. And we have Mark Daly, who says, greetings from the panhandle of Florida, a.k.a. South Georgia. Yes, that is different from Floribama. Floribama is toward Pensacola. There's a reason we call it Floribama out there. We got Ron's mom here, Kathleen Fanatuzzi. I probably said that wrong. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, my dear, for being here. See you over there on Ron's channel. And we got Erica here, another one of my mods, Erica and Rock. And Linda is here. Tom's better half. Good seeing you, my darling. Good seeing you. And let's see what else. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? I love saying hi to people. I'm gonna miss the days when I can do this and not have to all through. Love all y'all. Snorta Poopus is here. Good to see you. Good to see you, my darling. Polar Bear from Pinellas County. We have got blind conservative woman in the chat with us. She says Rachel Zegler will never be so white, and she sure as heck will never be the one lovely, wonderful Adriana Castellati. May she rest in peace. Now, oh God, remember we talked about this? Her voice is so high pitched and scratchy, I guess, with how they directed her. She sounds worse than Sarah Brightman in Phantom of the Opera. I can't stand Sarah Brightman's voice. I cannot. I cannot. Let's see. We have got Arlene Navo is in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see you, my dear. We have also got, I lost my spot just that darn quickly. Marilyn, I'm so glad your channel is growing. Thank you. I am. I'm so glad, and I thank you guys for that. Spreading the word, telling your friends, sharing the streams, liking the streams, all of that helps. I tell people, they're just like, well, I can't send a super chat. I'm like, super chats are nice. Super chats are definitely nice, but a like and a share is worth its weight in gold for real, for real. Hey, Linda, good seeing you. And we have got, it's Florentin. That's like Louisiana French accent. Says, hello, bonne soirée. Good to see you, my darling. And it was so awesome meeting you in person this past weekend. It was great. So good to see you. Fire Dragon 57. That is why they were fired. It was true to the comic storyline. Yeah, and a couple of other things that were going on. And as someone who's lived in a Hollywood bubble, I'm inclined to believe all of it. So we're gonna get to that. Let's see. Our Disney statement. It's not that expensive. Come on, man. CJ. It is the biggest load of crap. I mean, Clownfish TV ripped on it, but we are gonna rip on it as well because it is quite possibly one of the most narcissistic statements I've ever seen come from a company. Basically, they're doing, again, what my favorite quote from Judge Judy is, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. That's exactly what Disney is doing to you. So we're going to talk about that. And let's see who else we got in the chat. Arlene Nabo says, ha, 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 welcome to the hashtag con life, Ron. One of us. It's not a con unless it's just like, I can't move. I can't move. Yep, Florentine, it's soft. It's so much softer than
it's a very light cotton. I was surprised when I got it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's not thick cotton like the Disney ones. So it's nice.
I feel conned. That is true. I
You
definitely
feel
conned. I feel conned.
It is a con. It's like the
Yeah, it
casino. The house always wins. You
Haven't-
gotta have your hustle.
I haven't washed it yet, so I hope it doesn't shrink. Otherwise, I'll be sending you more money to get me a medium.
I hope not. Kiss my grits. Hello, my dear. Always good seeing you. Says, hey, Reina Creole, I agree with your DEI quotations. The Bob Iger Corporation is just internally rebranding and rearranging the DEI deck chairs. Latondra Newton's former team is still a business unit under HR. Yeah, if you believe a company who has been hustling through, with DEI for I don't know how long and hanging on to it, regardless of how much money is being burned down, you think they're going to give that up right away? No, they're really not. So we're going to talk about that. Now, let's see who else we got here. I think that's everyone. Oh, there's Virginia. Hola a todos. Hola, mi amiga. And we've got Security Deb. This is good evening, all. Good evening to you, Security Deb. Good seeing you, my darling. That avatar is so darn cute. That's so cute. And let's see. We have got Amanda Pizzolatto. Hello. I thought about you today. Um, was in Dreamlight Valley. I figure I needed a challenge to actually keep me interested in the game. So I'm going to start creating a Pixar Island. So I'm going to have like all the Pixar characters and their houses and all the other cool stuff. So I can't wait to do that. I'll have to do that on the stream. Especially since I have Al's Toy Barn now. That's going to be fun. Although I'm really upset that the doors don't open. Remember the doors would open and you hear that moo sound? I miss that. I wish they had that. Let's see. Hey, that service dog says where to start. Well, we're going to start with the thing that's irritating us the most. There's so much out there for real. And just Nita is here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. And let's see who else we got. We got here. Of course, I'm laughing at Ron saying, hi-ho. That episode of South Park, I have never laughed that loud in my life. I'm like, I can't believe this. Mr. Hanky the Chicken Stew. There you go.
Hello, Mr. Hanky.
That service dog says, how did you like the financial call for Disney where they did not take any financial questions about Disney? Yeah, I didn't like that either. It was called Get Out before you say something that's going to go on a hot take. They had nothing to say and they had nothing to stand on. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's see. Yep. It's not a true Comic-Con until you have at least one claustrophobic moment. Mm-hmm.
I had like 120 hours straight of claustrophobic moments. That's just one.
Here's what cracked me up. All these people around it, maybe it was just me, but I had my huge fan with me, which was a freaking lifesaver to keep the air circulating because everybody's sucking up all the oxygen and all that. It's crazy. Hey, Melissa.
Compartmentalize. If I compartmentalize, then it's not so bad.
Yeah, you go with your flow.
Just 150,000 people all jam-packed into one building.
Of course. Pack them in like sardines. Melissa Bell says, good evening. Disney just weaning out the normal families. Yes, they are. And acting as if they are truly not. Let's see. I think. Hey, Burr Oswald. Let's see. I saw Anita. Did I just see Anita? I saw Anita. I did. I saw you. The chat jumped, my dear. I'm sorry. Hey, Nita. Good seeing you, my dear.
My mom's in the chat too.
Hi, Erica's mom.
She's Carol Lugo in the chat.
Oh, okay. Good to see you. Trying to scroll down so I can find you. I'll get to you. Hey, Burr Oswald says, let's play a song on the world's smallest violin for all the grifters that depended on Reimagine Tomorrow. I have got a story to tell y'all about Reimagine Tomorrow. Reimagine Tomorrow is quite possibly one of the, I guess you call it, activist entertainment, DEI initiatives that I've been aware of for the longest time. I actually dug up some information where it was hidden in plain sight. And this was back when I was on the Toxic Femininity show and literally hidden in plain sight. It was something else. So we're going to talk about that. Hey,
Mom.
Hey, Erica's mom. And Fannie Willis Booty says, hi, ladies and Bradley. Quick question. How in the heck do you afford all those annual passes? It's so darn expensive nowadays.
Mine is Pixie, and I pay $25 a month.
Mm-hmm. What do I have? I have mine. They're split up into payments. So I have to get two. So it's like mine is the highest one that I can get for the time being. And then Camera Girl has one that's lower in price because she's not able to go to the parks as often. Although I will say, when it comes time to renew my Disney Pass in the fall, I'm probably going to the Pixie Pass because I need money for your Universal, okay? I need that darn money. I sure do. Okay, let's see. I think I said hello to everyone. So we're glad all you guys are here. Make sure you hit that like button. We're gonna stroll through some of these hot topics. You're gonna see me hopping around for a bit because we got a lot to get in with the show. Coming to us from Deadline. YouTube viewership on TV screens exceeds mobile for the first time in the US. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I don't know, you guys have to tell me what your perspective is. But I have noticed that ever since I got a Fire TV and that had a YouTube plugin, I watch YouTube on my TV almost exclusively unless I'm out and about or I'm away from the television. How about you guys?
Same.
Yep.
I want to say it's been at least a decade. I almost, it feels like more, but it's got to be at least a decade since I got my first Fire Stick. And do you remember a time? I remember a time when I got really, really mad because like the YouTube app for Fire Stick went away. Like there's like a period. I don't know exactly when it happened, but I was like really, really mad. And then there was like an alternate app for YouTube that you watch, but it wasn't actually provided by YouTube. It was like a third-party app. And then finally they did the YouTube app right and put it back on Fire Stick. I remember that period of time, but I've been watching YouTube on Fire Stick or my TV, or now of course there's almost every TV just comes with the app built in. All the smart TVs, they're so cheap now. I mean, you can get my last 43-inch television I bought for like $150 or something. I mean, it's not like I remember back in the 80s or 90s, you wanted to like one of those big screen televisions, but it was like a giant box. I actually had one. Those were like $2,000-$3,000 back then, and the picture quality wasn't nearly what we have now. It's the only things like I really wish that the day-to-day commodities like bread and eggs and milk and meat would come down in price, but no, we just got electronics coming down in price. So, but yeah, it's if I want to chat, for the longest time I didn't chat on live streams because I'm watching them on my TV, and then and you can bring up that chat and I'm watching everybody, and it took me like 2 or 3 years of watching live streams here and there to go, you know what, I think I'll jump in on my phone and start chatting. It was, and it's so funny because on this side of it, you're like, it depends on the chat. I love you guys in the chat. Please chat, But if you're watching on a TV, I get it because they haven't figured out a way to make the chat available there. It's funny because I always think the Fire TV, has a little button on it, like on the remote where you can talk. And I'm like, why don't they integrate that into YouTube on the app so you could say something and it would pop into the chat? The technology, I'm sure, exists. So this got integrated.
It does, but it may be some security issues with that. It's not saying that they can't do it because they surely can. I'm pretty sure it's a security thing that's probably holding up. Your girl is having to do a whole deep dive into cybersecurity and AI of late. So I will, excuse me if I start nerding out on some stuff. But yeah, that's now when you buy a television, or when I'm looking at a television, I'm looking for where's the YouTube app, where's the Hulu app, like where are the actual apps, especially YouTube, because pretty much if you have YouTube, you really don't need.
You're set.
Yeah.
You don't need much more than that.
No, I need my nieces and nephews. That's all they want to watch. They will watch YouTube. That's it. That's the only thing they want to watch because everything is on.
Everything on it. You have all of the regular content creators like us, the new media and all that kind of stuff. You also have unfortunately, I say this unfortunately because I always hate this, but like MSNBC I don't know if they pay YouTube or what to get their clips up, but they're constantly in my feed. And I'm like, get out of my feed, MSNBC. I don't like watching your stuff. But I got all the news, Saturday Night Live clips, clips from the late night shows, all of the, I mean, a lot of people might know you can watch Song of the South completely on YouTube.
That's how I
it's on
watched
there.
it.
Yeah. You can watch
Yep.
it on,
So-
you can watch it on YouTube.
Oh, and I have a movie. I have several movies that are on YouTube that you can watch. Self promo here, but yeah,
Well,
it's all there, and they're
yeah.
good movies too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Well, Go and Shogi, thank you for gifting those 5 Follow the Bradleys Fun memberships. I will have to hit you up by proxy.
Broke into the old apartment, 42 stairs from the street.
And I want to thank Bare Naked Ladies for just sharing revenue with me, because that one, it says it all. I'm just,
I love that.
it says it all. Totally says it all. So going from YouTube, and the reason why I bring that up, how many of you have seen the Muppets Super Bowl commercial for Booking.com?
Yes. It was awesome. I loved it.
We're gonna run this. I don't care if I get copyright claims. I will just clip it out. You know what? I should probably make it smaller. Then maybe they won't. What the heck? Y'all should have been here on time.
With hotels and vacation rentals, Booking.com has something for everyone.
Yeah, shells. You got anything more boutique?
Oui, right this way.
Yeah,
Ooh.
What about something more family friendly?
Maybe a resort with a water park?
Or somewhere less family friendly?
Yep, one Vegas hotel for the bride-to-be.
What if we hate everything?
We have free cancellation. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, Booking.com.
Yeah! That's Gonzo. That's my boy.
What if we hate everything?
Yeah. There's a cancellation, but you know what? When I look at this commercial, the first thing that I'm thinking is, you have an advertisement agency that tapped into the spirit of the Muppets in 30 seconds. And Disney hasn't been able to do it for 20 years?
Right. And it has how many views and likes, but yet Disney, for some reason, wants to take out Muppet Vision 3D and just delete the Muppets.
It has 94,090,001. Let me refresh.
With hotels and
let me refresh.
.com has some.
It is the most 94,002. So it went up by over 200K views since I brought up the link about 3 hours ago.
Jeez.
It is
94 million.
94 million.
I have never seen a video with that many views. Wow.
I haven't either. It's literally viral. This is the only commercial. I didn't watch the Super Bowl, but you know where I saw this commercial? Where it got pushed to me?
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. Yep.
I didn't realize that I had actually seen that commercial, but not watched it, not taking it in. I think it came up on something that I was watching, and I didn't even realize it was a Muppets thing until just now, until you replayed it. But while you were replaying it, I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I remember hearing that part of it, but I was somewhere else. But this is pretty funny. It's amazing. The Muppets are so, again, misutilized by the Disney company. They don't have good voices for Kermit the Frog. There's 1,000 people out, thousands. There's probably tens of thousands of people that can do Kermit the Frog's voice better than the guy that they got doing him right now, which is hilarious. But what are you gonna do?
This is just, I look at it from Kermit playing a banjo, and literally that's Jim Henson right there when you look at it. They go from that to to Miss Piggy, and we all know how she is. You got Animal going wild. You know how Animal is just crazy. We're seeing like all of our characters that we know and love. This is such a Miss Piggy shot. I freaking love Miss Piggy. True story, my grandfather used to call my sister Talia Miss Piggy. I don't know why, but yeah, she did. She didn't like that name, but she answered to it anyway because she loved my granddad. But this is totally her when you see it. Boutique hotel, perfect match. And then you go down here, of course, there's, you don't see Muppets there, but that's okay because you got a dose. Statler and Waldorf, what if we hate everything? Which is what they are. They're the ultimate trolls. We don't like this at all. Cancel button for that. And then, at the booking.com commercials, they're always saying booking.com, booking.yeah. And at this one, Gonzo does it.
Booking.com, booking.yeah.
Freaking love that.
Gonzo fashion.
It's so...
Kermit, I kind of messed up on our booking.
It's just so amazing. So amazing. Speaking of amazing, first of all, Go and Shogi gifted 10 Reina Creole memberships. And not only did he gift 10 Reina Creole memberships, he also did a super chat from $1.99 and said, ha, I clicked the wrong link. Oh, well, no worries, my dear. No worries, my dear. Let's hook you up with the big super chat.
This is pathetic.
Join in, folks. It's yodeling time.
Here at Lester's.
Elephant green screen effect.
Thank you so much for that super chat and those gifted memberships, folks. If you got a gifted membership from Go and Shogi, please do tell him thank you. Channel members, we're going to have a watch party for that Christopher Reeve documentary tribute. We're going to have that. I believe we're going to watch that next Wednesday. So keep an eye out on the tab.
That sounds super.
Absolutely. Super good. Disney is making Universal Studios look great by Disney destroying their favorite rides at Disney. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the live stream that I did yesterday where we went through Muppet Vision 3D several times and just looking at like all of the sight jokes and the gags and the whole experience. And it's just, you feel rushed. And the reason you feel rushed is because when you're in, the whole, I call it the holding tank, but the holding area, you're so busy looking at all of the stuff that's there.
If you turn behind you in the back wall, there's stuff. Above your head, there's stuff. There's so much there, but you're also missing out right now on the store that they had. They had the same type of thing going on in the store, and they got it closed right now, and it sucks. And all the backstage stuff of the Muppet Show, and it was just so darn cool.
It really was. It really was. Hey, Braylon. And again, one of the things that I loved, and that's more than likely, no, not Jack Morgan, although I love you to death. I love Jack. He's so from Jersey. When I saw Kermit like this, I thought of that big picture of Jim Henson as a Muppet in Muppet Vision, and you won't see it unless you are actively looking for it. And he's got his camera lens and everything. It's just so cool. You almost want to kick yourself for not seeing it first, but I think you did that on purpose because there's so many things that you're looking at. The pre-show is just insanely funny, and then you get in the theater, and it's not just the 3D. You've got animated animatronics, you've got Statler and Waldorf, you've got the Swedish chef who comes out with a gun later on. You've got Bean, you've got someone who comes out as Sweetums, you've got, the penguins, you've got, bubbles, you've got smoke effects, you've got it's insane.
I mean, here's the thing, like for those of us that experienced the Muppet Show growing up, you're freaking sitting in that theater. Like, you've got Statler and Waldorf on the side where they are in that theater for real. And you're like, I mean, that's what makes it so cool. It's like it was immersive entertainment before they did immersive entertainment, it's so cool. And I don't know that it'll happen with Muppets, but hopefully with Frontierland. Some of the changes that were made today, which we're going to talk about later, maybe superficial or maybe pandering or who knows what they are, but I really hope that they means that maybe they pull back on some of the stuff that they want to do in the parks. So fingers crossed, hope. I don't know, probably won't happen, but I'm still holding out hope until I see the rivers drained.
I hear you.
They are way out of touch with
they're
their
so out of touch.
I mean, I don't even think seeing the over 94 million views, they're not going to get the message. They won't connect the dots just because they just don't care. They think what they're doing is right, and they're just going to keep forcing what they're doing on us. You're going to like what we're doing, whether you like it or not. And it's like, well, okay, I guess I can just spend my money somewhere else.
Yeah. By the way, this will continue until morale.
Can I just say something that's very, very cool about the Muppets and Sesame Street that nobody ever seems to bring up? And that is diversity before it was forced. It was like, when I was growing up, I can tell you as a kid, I never would have noticed it. I never would have cared. But I'm watching Sesame Street. I'm watching the Muppet Show. There's massive amounts of diversity and representation on those shows. Like tons of cultural. It's all over the place, right? That diversity. It's not because they had to do it. It's not because anybody was checking boxes. It's because it happened naturally. And yeah, there are probably people that had the ideas of, hey, let's put everybody together in this cast, but it doesn't come across as forced. And I didn't really even realize it until I looked back at a clip of Sesame Street the other day, and I'm watching this. It's the clip where they talk about Mr. Hooper's passing, and they're trying to explain it to Big Bird, and I'm not going to cry thinking about it.
Oh Lord, we already cried on my SeaWorld stream when we were walking through the Sesame Street section.
But when you watch the cast, you're like, I didn't realize when I was a kid that they were a diverse cast. I just saw people. And isn't that what we're supposed to do, is just see people, just see our brothers and sisters and other humans? And isn't it a beautiful thing that we don't all look freaking alike? That would be horrible. But there's no need to force it or call it an initiative or it's so weird because it was like it was done right all the way back then, and now it has nothing to do with really what it is. Right? Diversity is great, right? Inclusion's great, right? But it's the way they're going about it. And going about it today as if the problem didn't actually get solved 40 years ago. That's what's so weird about it now. And it's like, look, guys, we talked about it on the Pro Show today. I think that we're literally 30 years past all that stuff. I don't know how it started getting brought up again, but it did. And that to me feels more wrong and more divisive. It feels like what they're saying is the exact opposite of their supposed goal, and that's what bugs me about it. Because like today, it's not the same. Back then, it was just like, hey, this is nature, this is natural, this is the human race. We all love each other, kumbaya, yay.
Well, I'll add a little bit of context to what you say. One of the things that kind of gets my hackles up is when people say, I'm colorblind, I don't see color. It's like you have two eyes and optical receptors. Of course, you see color. What you do is you see color, but that's not how you judge people. It's like you
Right.
see it. So and so looks like this. So and so looks like this. Like I had a college roommate says, "Oh, I don't see color." I said, "Well, what do I look like if you had to describe me to someone?" Couldn't figure out what to say. So the thing is, when Sesame Street came along, Sesame Street was geared towards kids who lived in urban environments that did not have a lot of educational supports. So what they did was they took a slice of what was real and made it accessible for everyone. And it wasn't forced, like Ron was saying, it wasn't forced. It was introduced, which are which is two different things. So I grew up like in a diverse area. I'd watch Sesame Street. You'd see all kinds of Muppets, all kinds of people that were there. And I won't say that the problem was 100% solved, because it really wasn't. We had racial incidents and everything that were going on at that time. However, we were working through all that productively. You know what I mean? It's like we were trying to go forward with that, different kinds of entertainment. Like me growing up as a kid, I freaking loved Public Enemy, and there were a whole bunch of white, Hispanic, and Asian kids who loved Public Enemy too. And that's what brought us together. We came together. Of course, there's some frictions, that goes on, but for the most part, it's just like, hey, you can't be half bad. You like the same music that I do, or maybe I don't particularly like that, but hey, I'm willing to give it a chance. But what you have going on now that Disney is saying that they're getting away from, and I don't believe them one bit, is now it's we need to blame white men. You folks who are minorities, guess what? You can't do any better. It's not your fault. It's what I call the bigotry of low expectations. So that's what they're doing, all in the name of people thinking, hey, we're doing something. And you're not doing anything but introducing more division, not allowing authentic moments for people to work through. And that's what's going on with Disney. They're not doing it for the sake of promoting diversity. Because you know what? If you were promoting diversity, they would have just did it. They would have just did it. We have this Tiana ride coming up. They just did it. It's not, oh, in keeping with, diversity and inclusion and blah, blah, blah. We're coming up with this attraction. No, what that tells me is that you just want exposure for it. You want a pat on the back for it. And Tiana's Bayou Adventure is one of the biggest disgraces out there right now with the Disney company, the biggest black eye. So don't you dare tell me, Bob Iger or Disney company, that you quote unquote care about diversity, or that you quote unquote care about black people, because you were kissing the ass of Black Lives Matter ever since that popped off. I'm just saying.
Candela.
Sorry, Afro Latina and me gets up in there from time to time.
No, but it was perfect. I got nothing there. Mic drop.
It's like nothing. Oh no, we're good. Yeah, nothing else, but just kind of put that out there. But going from that to the next thing that I want to talk about with regards to Disney. First of all, 151 of you people watching tonight. So thank you for being here, hanging out with us here on the Spice Lounge. Coming to us from Comic Book, X-Men 97 showrunner addresses Disney's claims in a video statement. Now, I have to give a hat tip to Fatal J, and we're actually going to be talking about the video statement that Beau DeMayo put up on YouTube. Yes, he does have a YouTube channel. We'll be talking about that on a Dark Council tomorrow night at 8:30. But I wanted to bring this up because I don't know if either of you have watched X-Men 97. Now, before X-Men 97 rolled out, there was a lot of press about, Beau DeMayo, he's flamboyantly gay. I'm just like, I don't freaking care. If he can write the X-Men, let him write the freaking X-Men. I don't care if he's posting thirst traps, on Instagram, which was interesting because that's what Disney was accusing him of. Some kind of egregious thing that happened. And then people were like, well, it must be bad, or maybe the show's bad, or whatever. And it was heartbreaking because there were fans like myself who read the X-Men comics, who watched the X-Men cartoon, who were saying, out of all the crap that Disney's been doing, please let this be good. Please let this be good. And then when it dropped, we were like, what did he do that was so bad? Because for the most part, the whole show went right along with the comics. Like I couldn't find anything. And a lot of people that I know, like on the Dark Council, we couldn't find anything wrong, which begs the question, why would you fire a Black gay man, Disney? This is like who you hold up for sake of diversity. Why would you fire him off of a successful show? Did you guys watch X-Men 97 by any chance? Or have you read the X-Men comics or watched like the 90s cartoon?
I haven't watched this one. I wasn't a huge fan of the X-Men as a whole in the 90s. I was a huge fan of Wolverine specifically, and I did watch the cartoon in the 90s somewhat, but it wasn't like into it. It was more of a casual type of a thing. And so I haven't watched. I've heard really, really good things about the X-Men 97 on Disney Plus, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Can we go back to Kiss My Grits comment? Because Disney, are you serious? You want to push transgender bullshit on kids, but you're worried about this mofo being on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Seriously?
What's the problem with OnlyFans? I saw the picture. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
oh, damn, he
Like,
why
are you
y'all hating on
serious?
it? But Erica, you're 100% right. With all the nonsense that Disney pushes, and you're mad
Oh my
about.
God!
Oh, well,
I'm
he has
sorry.
Disney
a fans account.
Disney is one of the most hypocritical companies that exist. They are constantly putting themselves in the hypocrite bucket, though. I mean, look at how they treat China versus how they treat America when it comes to audiences and what they put in their advertising. I mean, they tout diversity, equity, inclusion in the United States, and then you go overseas and they're like, oh, nope, just kidding. It's ridiculous.
We got to get that black man out of the Captain America Brave New World poster. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. Well, is it 30 minutes past? Okay, yeah. I'm not buying that bullshit from China. That was just a standee that you just put yourself in there. It's just like, who's going to contort themselves at that kind of an angle? It makes zero sense. Just own up to it, China. You don't really like showing black people unless, they're basketball players that you like. Let's face it. And the reason that I can talk about that is because I don't know if you've ever heard, I know I'm going off the reservation here. If you've ever heard that term American-born Chinese. Okay, apparently y'all haven't. Where I grew up in suburban Philadelphia, we had a large Asian population, not as many Japanese, a crap ton of Koreans, and we had, Chinese as well, because Chinatown, Koreatown. But some of my friends who were Chinese, they would get a lot of crap from their grandparents or relatives who lived in mainland China, or the ones that would come and visit. They would call them American-born Chinese. You're too Western. What are you doing with black friends? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it was a mess. And one of my pastors from back in the day said that when restaurants were segregated, Chinese restaurants were the only places that they could go. Like, they welcomed in black customers. And also remember, Bruce Lee got a ton of crap for not only teaching karate to white people, but teaching karate to black people too. So this is why I do not, China does not get off the freaking hook. You have priors, China. Okay. You have freaking priors. So no, that does not hunt. But anyway, going on. But what I like to do is I like to show people in their own words. So there's going to be two parts of this that we're going to watch again on the Dark Council tomorrow night at 8:30. The whole Dark Council is going to EFAP through this video because it confirms a lot of stuff that we've been thinking about, that we've been talking about, especially considering that T'Challa was not recast, how Disney seems to wipe its ass with its Black characters, confirmed a lot of stuff. So we're gonna do that tomorrow. But let's start with the opening statement for about. Okay, it's gonna go on for a while. Beau, please don't copyright claim me. Love you.
Hey everyone. First, I want to welcome you to my new OnlyFans page. It's going to be a little bit unorthodox what I'm doing here, admittedly, but I needed a safe space to be able to post this video as well as future content without fear of harassment or censorship. And before I get to what I plan to do with this page, I first want to address the massive elephant in the room. The allegations being made against me are very serious, and I take them seriously. It's why I took some time to myself these last few weeks. One, to sit with my legal team and figure out how best to respond.
And that's a good point, because remember, the details about the Gina Carano lawsuit did not come out right away. And she wasn't really talking about it right away until she could consult with her legal team, because you have to be very, very, very careful. Looking at you, Alyssa Mercante, what you put on social media, because that can be entered into evidence as well. So I get this. I get this. And after we watch Beau DeMayo, I want you to keep this in the back of your head. Think about how this is going to help Gina Carano's lawsuit against Disney.
He went on for 30 minutes.
Oh,
he talked for 30 minutes. Wow.
He broke it down. And like I said, as someone who's lived in the Hollywood bubble, everything he said is plausible as all hell. I have no reason to doubt him, considering all the crap that I've seen living out there. And also remember all the crap that Gina Carano went through from Disney. So again, Disney, you got priors. Just saying.
Importantly, just sit with those I love, those closest to me, and assure them of what I will assure you now and what they already knew. These allegations of egregious misconduct are false. The rumors being spread around me online are lies, and they are offensive. But more concerning is that they're a smear campaign designed to discredit my credibility in order to cover up egregious, prejudicial misconduct, stretching from select crew members on X-Men 97 all the way to the top of Marvel Studios. And they're not just trying to discredit me using incredibly misleading press releases, but also through coordinated leaks and bot attacks, as well as anonymous scoops being given to tabloid sites and podcasters. You've maybe heard some of these. I've heard rumbling and whispers about Beau.
My time to shine. Hello. I don't know how closely you guys have been watching this, but I did see that before X-Men 97 came out, Disney's dropping news that, they cut him from the show, didn't let him go to the premiere. Supposedly he had an OnlyFans page, some of the whisper accounts out there, and they're pretty well known. I know exactly who they are, who were saying the same thing. I've heard he's hard to work with. I heard he did X, Y, and Z. I heard he did. It's going to be shocking when the allegations come out. And I'm like, doesn't this seem very similar to the bots that went after Gina Carano?
I didn't even think about that. Bots from Disney's planted bots. So do you think there's a chance that the OnlyFans is not even a thing? It's just made up?
I think it's just something they asked one of their dumb social media interns. Say they have an OnlyFans account. Yes, CJ, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Because the social media being handled out there for the most part are usually done by 20-year-old interns who have no sense of tact whatsoever. So they probably said, just say they got an OnlyFans. Say that, you know.
I
And
don't
leave
understand
it
is
that.
what's the big deal? I mean, I'm not a fan of OnlyFans, okay? But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, what he does behind closed doors for extra revenue, that's between him, his moral compass, and himself. If and it doesn't even have to leak out to the public, and then who's the perv that went looking for it on OnlyFans? And you want to point the finger at him? Well, what were you doing digging around OnlyFans yourself?
Like that person who went digging around Sophia Gascon's Twitters and pulling up her tweets. Because daggone it, somebody did not like it that a biological man got nominated for Best Actress. I'm just saying. But you're 100% right, Erica. What were they doing digging in there looking for that? And if they did, so what? That's his private account.
Yeah, who
You know?
cares? And it's that kind of stuff is really private and done behind closed doors, and I mean, and look, I'm going to be objective here and take my moral compass to the side and separate that. Um, he's a really good-looking guy.
Yep.
That guy is ripped. Like you can look at his arms and okay, maybe he models and just because you have an OnlyFans account doesn't mean it's all sexual either. I get that it's got that reputation, but there are people on there that just do modeling type stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always like it's not always triple X. It can be risque, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's,
Mm-hmm.
crazy triple X,
Yeah.
and we don't know the extent of that. And it's none of our business anyways.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh well, dang, he's actually a good, he's a good looking man. And then my second thought was, oh come on, it couldn't have been that bad. I mean, really, the show is good. The show is good. So what did he do that was so bad? And that's
He
the bug that Disney put in our
very
ear.
jealous.
what he did, I can tell you what he did because I've been through this personally because used to work for the company. What he did is he pissed somebody off in the wrong way, rubbed somebody the wrong way. I would not be surprised if this all started with some male or female on set hitting on him, and then that wasn't received properly by him, and then they decided let's turn this around and attack and attack and attack and attack, and this is how sadly the culture is among fellow employees, not in a huge way at Disney, but when it happens at Disney, it happens in that specific circumstance. It happens in a big way. So it happened with Gina. Gina must have rubbed somebody the wrong way. Usually it's the nicest people rubbing somebody the wrong way for some reason. People have their own internal whatever, and so the way that they decide to deal with it is, oh, that person rubbed me the wrong way. I'm going to attack them and make sure that I get them fired and ousted and every bad thing about them. And they're pretty good at getting the company to believe it, at getting getting fans to believe it, or at least putting those messages out there, thinking that they're giving, thinking that they're getting people to believe it. And the truth of the matter is, when that starts to happen, the company as a whole sees, oh, there's controversy. We better get ourselves exited from it. So who do they punish? Do they punish the people that started the controversy? Of course not. They keep them aboard because they're afraid what they'll say about the company more than the people that they oust. I hope from situations like Beau and Gina and Roseanne and others. I hope that this company finally freaking learns to deal with their crap in a lot better manner, because it's really, really wrong what they're doing to people.
Well, we're
You
going
know
to
what it
move
is.
on a little bit more. Ron, you're not far off. I highly suggest everyone check this video out on Beau's channel. I have a link to his channel in the description box. Let's get
Now,
to some
with
more
this,
dirt
I
or
assume
tea.
the studio would protect me from those who maybe harbor biases against having someone who looks, speaks, dresses, and thinks like me.
And I just want to say this out front. He's entitled to his point of view completely. There's nothing wrong with that. He's not 100% wrong with what he said. My other people's experiences have been different, but I'm just saying this is his opinion, but that opinion is going to go into the next statement that will end this part of the video.
As the creative leader and boss. Now, why was this important to me? Guys, just turn on the news. It's common for minorities in leadership roles to not be taken seriously, to have their credentials and their resumes continually questioned by those above and below them, and just generally be written off as a diversity hire who didn't earn the job. I thought Marvel would have my back against this stuff. Instead, the studio looked the other way as my identity was weaponized by Marvel execs and select crew members to undermine me.
Now I'm going to stop for a minute. This is exactly the type of person Disney, quote unquote, says that they want to, push and promote. But they turn around and weaponize the very thing that they claim they liked. It's just like, how disgusting and low down and dirty can you be?
A humiliating environment where people felt emboldened to use the same dog whistling stereotypes favored by bigots for decades. He's big, he's intimidating, too opinionated, angry, emotional, flamboyant, dramatic, a pervert. When I called the
I remember the pervert line. I totally remember the pervert line. Let me play it here real quick.
These things out. They pivoted to attacking my talent, accusing me of being too much of a fanboy. They openly resented me fighting for the fans, fighting for the comics. They accused me of playing karaoke with those comics.
Boom.
That's what it is. They hated that he wanted to stick to canon and source material. Is that my? It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here like, Disney, is it really that effing important to you to deviate from what your audience wants and to stick to, canon and source material for these stories that have been around forever? I don't. I'm not, I don't follow Marvel like a lot of you guys do, or Star Wars, but to the fans, I feel sorry for you guys because how hard is my mom said once, how hard is it to script something that's already been scripted?
It's a hot, oh, sorry, Erica, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just ranting because
No, because I'm about to rant too, but I'm gonna let you go.
To sink to this level, to do this guy the way that they have, treat him this way, all because he didn't want to stick to the story. I'm sorry, that's just like really, really telling on so many levels on where Disney sits now, and then all this bull on, oh, we're cutting back on DEI. And yeah, well, I smell a rat's ass, and you know what? F you. And just yeah.
They think the fans are stupid, and kiss my grits. Excuse me, sorry. He refused to follow Kevin Feige's multiverse rules. Well, one of the things that Beau said, and again, watch the video. He said, "I am not going to be your black stamp of approval." That speaks volumes, because that's what Disney wanted. Okay, we're going to do this here. We're going to do this, instead. And there's stuff that Beau DeMayo is pushing, most notably pushing some more storyline for some of the other diverse characters that we all know and love. So if we saw the character, we'd be like, yeah, we know who that is. We know who that is. That's what he wanted to do and push for. And they tell him, no, you're too much of a fanboy. You're going to do what you tell us to do. And your face on it is basically going to be approving that nonsense. And that's downright damn disgusting, because I will say flat out, there are some panels that I no longer appear on because they want that quote unquote black stamp of approval for whatever nonsense they want to put out there. I'm not your girl to do that. And that's disgusting to ask anybody to do something like that. This is such a hot mess. And since Beau obviously didn't want to play ball, first of all, I'm going to say, thank you, Beau, for just going through what you did and putting X-Men 97 out there, because the product is impeccable. I was absolutely shocked, so shocked, where it's just like, can't y'all bring him back? I mean, whatever he did, can't y'all forgive him for it and can bring him back? Because the show was actually good. I had
think about this. They didn't even bring back Roseanne for her own show.
That's true.
and what did she do? She insulted somebody based on looks. It was bad, right? But that is not terminable. That is, you correct the person, you make them issue an apology, you suspend them for half a season, and then bring them back. I mean, how difficult would it have been for them to say, okay, you know what, this is bad that she did this, but it's not terminable. Listen, Roseanne, you need to issue an apology. We're going to suspend you for half the season. Your character's going in the hospital. We're not going to see you, and then we'll bring you back, and it'll be fine. That would have been a proper and appropriate way to handle the situation. Disney doesn't handle these situations right. And then the ones that they did bring back was maybe the worst offender of all of them, and that was James Gunn. And I'm not bad. I'm not sad that they brought him back. I mean, I'm glad that they brought him back, but they should have fixed it with everybody, not just when they brought him back. They say, you know what, our policies have been off. Let's bring back Roseanne, Gina, everybody else that we've done this to, and really take a look at our policies, because it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be like, if you want to issue some type of an appropriate not punishment's not the right word, course of action to change whatever the situation is and rectify it, do that, but you do not take away people's livelihood over this stuff. And that's where I just think this company is just so off the mark.
100%. And I'll go with a kiss my grits comment before we move to the next subject. Reina Creole, you nailed it. Beau was to be a DEI prop, nothing more, just like how they treated Halle Bailey. That's 100% it, which is why, in a way, it really does annoy me when people will attack the actor for the role that they were cast in. And they use that and they direct all of their anger and frustration at that person. And Disney is counting on you doing that. That's what happened with Halle Bailey. That movie crapped out. But with Beau, it's problematic. Even more problematic. Halle Bailey is, as far as I know, heterosexual Black woman. Beau is a biracial gay man. And Disney doesn't like him and does that because he said, no, you're not, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that crap. And because of that, Disney decided to show their ass. So I have the link, and thank you, Braylon, for bringing that up. I have the link to this video in the description box. Please do go watch the video. I mean, we only watched like about maybe 5 minutes total, But dude is dropping bombs, especially when he talks about production assistants. Let's just say a production assistant wasn't too happy that Beau called this person out on their shenanigans of an intimate type. So watch the video and check it out. It's something else. And again, Gina Carano's legal team is probably salivating over this
Come on,
video.
Elon. We got you a new guy. Quiet for your lawyers. Oh gosh.
Oh, well, 184 of you folks watching in here. I sure do appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Spice Lounge. So glad you guys are all here. More Disney doom and gloom from Axios. And I have to give a hat tip to Jonas J. Campbell of that Park Place for bringing this to my attention, because apparently this broke live on that on WDW Pro Show today. Exclusive Disney making changes to its DEI efforts. I feel like I should be Mike Myers' character in the Austin Powers movies, doing the quote like this.
I want
Because
mouse ears with a middle finger in the middle.
CJ, I need you to make a graphic of that. Mouse ears with a middle finger in the middle. I'm so not kidding. Yeah, I need that. We need that. I think we'll make that a member. I think we'll make that a member. We'll make that a member emoji. So coming from Axios, Disney is changing its diversity, equity, and inclusion DEI programs to focus more closely on business outcomes. According to a note sent to employees Tuesday and obtained by Axios. When you say obtained, you mean it got leaked to you. That's what happened. As part of the shift, sources tell Axios Disney is moving and changing the content disclaimers it started releasing around certain titles in 2020. Titles such as when I'm watching, Peter Pan, or even worse than that, I'm watching Lady and the Tramp, and you give me a warning about tobacco. Are you freaking serious?
Tobacco?
Yes, tobacco use. But you don't say anything about the racist Siamese cats. I mean, it is in there.
Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah. Because I think the owner, I think he was smoking a pipe. Well, one definitely wasn't 101 Dalmatians, but that's what they'll put down there. And it's like a whole freaking scroll going down for the most part. I exaggerate, but not really. For all of these trigger warnings on Disney movies. It's like, are you seriously for real with this? It got to the point where I almost did not even like opening a movie on Disney Plus that I wanted to go watch. Just something innocent, like The Rescuers or something like that. Really? Just, come on. Siamese cat snips. I love that part. I wanted Siamese cats, but I was watching that. I was like, damn, that's racist. But anyway, the big picture, the changes, while less dramatic than those introduced by other Fortune 500 companies in recent weeks, speaks to the pressure brands face trying to adjust to new expectations in the second Trump era. Well, let me say this. Trump was talking about DEI with respect to the federal government. What you folks in the private sector are being subjected to is you got hit in the head because Trump won the election. He won the Electoral College, and more importantly, he won the popular vote.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you're kind of like, okay, maybe we should dump this. There's some companies who are keeping it, some companies who are getting rid of it. No private company is required to jettison their DEI standards. It's a private business. You can do what you want. But guess what? The laws of economics remain unchanged. You will have people who will leave or have been leaving because of your DEI policies, talking about you, Disney, and some who don't care. But when we're talking about Disney and how so many people have been turned off by this company because of their DEI initiatives, it makes total sense. I'm sorry, Erica, go ahead.
Oh no, just what you said earlier about the content on Disney Plus with their classics on how they have those disclaimers, and it's so offensive to those classics that you're gaslit into like feeling like you shouldn't even watch those movies. It's
Mhm.
offensive to see that disclaimer, and it doesn't draw me in to want to click on those old classics and watch, Peter Pan or whatever other movie, which I swear all of them have some kind of disclaimer on them now.
Mhm.
And then to add that, their content's just, it's shit. Like, I'm sorry, you're putting kids content out there that's not even meant for kids. Because if parents, don't even approve, then why the hell are you putting that shit on there anyways, with transgender stuff? Like, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, that doesn't exactly make people want to buy your product. I mean, in all Trump fashion here, it's common sense. Jeez, like I really don't know what's they're like allergic to the term common sense, you know?
It's funny to me because you bring up something like a Dumbo or Bambi or any of these old ones, and they have the long trigger warning. What bothers me the most is the phrase "it was wrong then" or "it was wrong back then and it's wrong today," and I'm like, whoever wrote that is putting themselves in the position of judge for other people, and that's not. It really it's they're taking themselves out of the context. They're taking the movie out of the context of the day that it was written in, and some of that stuff wasn't really it's when it's socially right or wrong, it's socially acceptable or not acceptable, it's based on the society that it's written in and written for. But here's the biggest problem is you put out a movie like Strange World, and I don't see anything at the beginning of Strange World that says the following movie depicts relationship desires of a young teenage boy towards another teenage boy. People consider this wrong today, and it might be wrong in the future. I don't see any trigger warning for that, but there's a lot of people that will consider that absolutely wrong and against everything that they want to teach their kids, and it ain't there. So if they're not going to treat things equally, I have a huge issue with that.
Yeah. And let's also remember there wasn't a well, no, how they deceptively edited the first trailer for Inside Out 2 to make it look like Riley was going to have a lesbian relationship. Remember
Yeah,
that?
and it's funny you mentioned that because you could just tell. I don't know what it was. You just got this vibe. I knew without even needing it confirmed that they were going to try that. And then when it finally came out, they had to go back and tweak,
Yep.
her
Come to
character. I
Jesus.
think they
That's what
wanted to
they.
make her, yeah, I mean, they wanted to make her what, queer,
Yeah.
And I mean, because that's like the thing now, now it's the whole queer thing. Like that's because Bridgerton's freaking doing that. And that's, a
Oh, why I dropped
show
out
in
of that.
itself. Um, you know, so now it's, now we need to cater to the queer people out there, which I think is ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous because there have been gay characters in film and television, but the thing was, we weren't getting knocked over the head with it. There were characters that they were integral to the story, but because Disney wants to appear, you know, hip and diverse and inclusive and whatever, they're leaning into and this term because I got it when I lived out in LA called the gay mafia. They don't care. And if you're gay and you don't agree with them, guess what? They are not going to like you and do everything to make your freaking life hell. But to go back to here, okay, the changes, while less dramatic than those introduced by other 400, 500 companies in recent weeks, speak to the pressure brands face trying to adjust to new expectations in the Trump era. Okay, yeah, I did say that. So here's the note. Sonia Coleman outlined the ways Disney's DEI efforts will change, and I'm going to put change in quotation marks. Other performance factors. So Disney's going to replace a diversity and inclusion performance factor that it used to evaluate executive compensation with a new talent strategy. The new talent strategy factor includes concepts from its old diversity and inclusion factor, but is more focused on how values drive business success. Isn't that what it's supposed to be in the first place? When I was in corporate America, I remember having a D&I part for like my performance report. I'm like, what the heck is this about? What am I supposed to freaking do? I already treat everyone with respect. So what the heck does this freaking mean? It makes no
the golden
sense.
rule. You treat others how you would want to be treated. I mean, there again, it's common sense. And Disney, you can tell they don't know their ass from their elbows when it comes to real, equity and inclusion. They used to know it,
Mm-hmm.
but then somehow they got amnesia, and now they've just gotten all ass backwards.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yep, they're pretending to care. And yeah, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, a lot of them have a lot of these DEI initiatives. And some companies, they will not get money from those hedge funds unless they do implement DEI. You've been seeing that with gaming companies as well. People asking, why are they doing this? Well, because that's a stipulation on the money that they're getting. So the fact that they're calling this a new talent strategy factor, don't believe the hype. I mean, really,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it should be completely removed. Your performance should be based on your talent and how you perform with respect to your talent. So, not impressed. Not impressed with that. And I don't think that's going away. I think they're just going to put it in a new wrapper and wordsmith it, because Disney has some real good wordsmiths, let me tell you. Let's see, new website and DEI rebranding. Disney is getting rid of its controversial Reimagine Tomorrow initiative and the corresponding website, which was used to highlight stories and talent from underrepresented communities. The site, which came under fire from conservatives, was replaced externally in December by an updated hub on Disney's corporate website and also Disney's internal website. What I will say about that there was nothing wrong with bringing in stories from underrepresented communities. What you did is you handled it like putting a prime steak on a garbage can lid, which is pretty much what you did. People want to see new stories.
You play on garbage can lids at Epcot, so.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true.
What they're used to is people paying $10 for a tiny piece of filet mignon and then eating that off a garbage can. Literally, that happens at Epcot every year.
Pretty much. I mean, it's.
If you flip on that page, though, you're going to see something that I caught today. It's down. No. Okay, right here. This inclusion key. This is very telling what they wrote, and I'll let you read it because that's way too small. I can't read it.
Okay.
But
let me blow this up a bit.
Basically, they are they're reworking things for what the public sees here on this website, but they're to Erica's desires and point, what we want to see as normal, natural families walking into a family environment, an environment of children in a kid's theme park. That's not going to change. And knowing the kind of employees that work there, it might get worse. If you want to read what they're saying, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, let me read this here. So the inclusion key, this was the key that was shoehorned in, to basically placate BLM. I will say that, and I will die on that hill. At our parks and resorts, the addition of an inclusion key guides our renowned approach to service and demonstrates our deep commitment to making everyone who experiences Disney feel welcome. This approach provides flexibility with respect to forms of personal expression surrounding gender inclusive hairstyles, jewelry, nail styles, tattoos, and costume choices. These policies enable our cast members to better express their cultures and individuality at work. Ron,
So,
you want to take it away before I
did you
go
catch
ahead?
the hypocrisy in the statement? Like right in the statement, you literally have it's, and I'm trying to see where it says these policies enable our cast members to better express their cultures and individuality. Okay, you cannot be both a cast member and somebody who expresses your individuality. You are in a show. When you go to work, you literally they have all these terms set. When you go through traditions, you learn this. You step onto a stage. You're either backstage or on stage. You're either out of costume or in costume. You're either out of character or in character. You are a cast member. You're not you. You're not your individual self. You're playing a role in the show, and that's literally part of the training. In quotes, that's what it says. Your role in the show. Okay? So individuality crap flies in the face of it being a show that you're putting on for guests. It bothers the heck out of me. Like when I was in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, I had shaved my legs as a cast member to be just for one stupid scene. But that's what I was told because I was a cast member. I was part of my when I had the show. When you're a cast member, you're not you. You might be a version of you, but you're not your individual self. You're a cast member. You're in fantasy land. You're in Tomorrowland. You're not in the Old West, but you happen to have a tattoo of Yosemite Sam. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh my gosh. And it's funny that not funny, haha, but funny, interesting. When I go to Disney, I remember there was a time where you could not have visible tattoos. You couldn't have your hair extend past a certain length. You couldn't have a mustache. You had to be, clean shaven. If you were wearing nails, they had to be a natural length, natural color. Makeup had to be a natural color because you are the face of Disney when you interact with the guests. And they've totally gotten away from that. Now, in contrast, and this is what I believe happened, whoever was the head over appearance standards and all of that at Disney went to Universal. Because I've read, you know what I'm talking about? I've read Universal's appearance standards and they look just like the ones that Disney used to have. When you go to Universal Orlando, you're not seeing a whole bunch of tattoos all over the place. You're not seeing quote unquote individual expression looks. There's individual expression where you can change, your jewelry, you can change, your nails, you can change your hairstyle within regulations, but their appearance standards are very strict. And if you apply for a job with them, you have to agree to those standards before you're even seen for an interview.
I mean, like Disney's lost their way on who's representing who and what. It's flipped now. It used to be, the employee represents the company. And I'm noticing in Disney's verbiage, it's flipped around. And I don't know if they realize how it sounds. It's like, you do realize that you flipped it to the point where it's no longer about the employees representing you. It's about how you are representing your employees. Tell me how that's a good business model, especially when you're getting down to customer service, because what I'm hearing in my own personal experience, the customer service has really gone down.
Oh my gosh.
Really gone down.
It has gone down so much. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. After, first of all, Florentin, thank you so much for that membership that you gifted. So I did see that. Thank you. And also Demogeny, one of the members of the Dark Council. Thank you for that $2 super chat. Let me hit you up.
And tell me I'm your own.
Check, please.
For $2, he says those were the same rules at Six Flags. Yeah, that's what I meant for Six Flags. Yeah. Six Flags Great Adventure. The joke used to be that Disney was better than Six Flags, and now it's just like, well, Six Flags look a whole hell of a lot better than Disney. So thank you so much for that $2 super chat, my dear. I appreciate the heck out of it, folks. Make sure you go subscribe to
Another thing I want to point out, I don't know why I didn't even pick up on it before, but is that a picture from 2020? Because everybody's wearing masks and they're distant.
Yes. I was in and somebody commented on this too, y'all were laughing. I was in Muppet Vision and I walked by, you see these people in masks and they're looking at me. I'm like, what? I'm not gonna hassle you for wearing a mask. I mean, I will laugh and I will judge you, but nobody, I can't believe, well, I guess some people still, want to do that. It's different when it's like, you want to wear a mask, go ahead. But it's different when you're telling people do it. But yeah, the fact, this whole section, if Disney was serious, should have been yeeted completely. There is no need for an inclusion key. When you keep to the Disney standards, especially when it comes to customer service, this is a given. You threw this in here again as another bone to throw at Black Lives Matter, because that's exactly what this was about. No one asked for this, no one needed it, and ever since you put it in there, it has been a total waste of time. How many times have we gone to watch the Happily Ever After fireworks? And how many times have we heard cast members yelling at guests?
That's really irritating, and that's been going on for a while, where they're herding the cattle, with those stupid megaphone things, and their tones are really condescending. They wouldn't have this issue if they would open up those areas that are, where they wanna nickel and dime you, the what do they call them now? The premier seating and the whole stupid, dessert
Premier
party
pass.
thing.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, all that was open, and it was just you picked a spot, that was it. And now, I don't know, there's just no need to yell the way that they do. And then they even do that during the fireworks, during the show.
And I've heard guests who were just like, this place is supposed to be magical, and you're yelling at people.
Well,
and that's not how you handle that.
Going back to Barry Place's experience not too long when what was it, like 7 or 8 different negative incidents with cast members in the same day? That was at Disneyland.
One day.
Wow.
Yeah. That was bad.
Oh, that was nuts. But the thing is, and they're trained so different. When I went through traditions, it was like you treat people with respect. You see a little girl dressed up as a princess, you say, "Hey, princess," and you get on her level and stuff. Now you can't even call the girl princess because you're using a gender word. I mean, if you call me out and you say, "Excuse me, friend," I'm like, I'm not your friend. You call me sir because that's respectful. You're being disrespectful. The company is literally teaching the kids that work there, and I do say kids because all their new hires are really, really young. They're teaching the kids to be disrespectful to people and their elders and everything else. You call a sir, you call him ma'am, or miss, or whatever. You don't. I mean, I get it with a group of people. You say, the nicest word would be friends as a group because you're addressing them. But if it's an individual, you just say sir or ma'am. The gendered language exists because out of respect. And is incredibly them getting away from gendered language. Most people consider that incredibly disrespectful.
Yes.
And It's just weird.
Even the trans community considers it disrespectful because you're not allowing them to identify as male or female, as delusional as they
Yep.
are, but, there you are.
It is just
You've managed to offend them while trying not to offend.
all I gotta say is every time Disney sends me a survey, I always point out just how disrespectful other cast members are in the park with how they handle things. And you can tell a difference between the ones that were recently hired and don't care and the ones that have actually been there for a while. Like back in the day, if I would have gone into a gift shop, not found what I was looking for, and asked a cast member, they would say, I don't know, but I will find out. And they would get on the horn with central merchandising and tell me where it is down to how to get there to get what I wanted. Yeah, someone at the parks, I was like, I don't know. That's the wrong answer to give a guest that's paying 200, some odd job, some $200 odd dollars just to get in there for right now. But let me switch to our last topic of the night, and this is from Pirates and Princesses. Apparently, the New York Post put out an article where they interviewed several people about their Disney trips, and they were talking about just how flippin' expensive how expensive it was, how not of value it was, and basically like, no, I do not want to go back there. But rather than reading the article, and we're going to read Disney's press post, watch this clip from the Fox Business show. This says it all completely. Fair use, YouTube.
Inflation putting a damper on Disney's magic. Take a look at this. For a two-parent home with two young kids, it cost $4,200 for a 4-day visit at Disney World. Just 5 years earlier, it was over $1,000 less. And Disney knows this is a problem. Attendance at U.S. parks increased just 1% this past year compared to 6% the year before. How long until families start looking elsewhere? Some inside the company, according to a report in the Wall Street Journal, Taylor, say that the company has become addicted to price hikes and has reached the limits of what middle-class Americans can afford.
So, gosh, going to Disney is a privilege, not a right. So if this is a company that wants to raise prices, Americans have the choice to go or to not go.
Like talking. Of course, that is, yeah, I just pulled it off. I'm like, dang it. It's like, yes, that is true. It's funny how she made that disclaimer because let's face it, if you're a free market capitalist, you do pretty much what you want. You want to provide a high priced experience, go ahead and do that. But when the customer rejects that high priced experience, that's where the issue starts to happen. So Disney could charge as much money as they want, but guests, and you have enough who are like, guess what? No, I'm not going to pay that. And that's what the market correction is. So go ahead.
I think there's a few of us on this table who feel priced out of the market. I am one of the family of 3 that says, I don't know if I can cut it again. They said the average ticket on a most expensive day has now topped $200 a person, not including the fast track. Disney says, well, you don't need the fast track. You can still go and have fun. I went 3 years ago.
Fast track. Oh, gosh. She's okay. Okay.
Disney says we can still have fun. It says we can still have fun.
I don't know if this was legal. I had a backpack and I had to pack my own peanut butter sandwiches because
yes, that's legal. I always bring food into the park. It's different when you're bringing a small amount of food into the park. Just don't bring a super huge cooler for for your food. I'm trying to type and I can't do this right. So what you can do, and sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that Disney isn't, any company for that matter, isn't without consequence when, things go south, and then your customers, for whatever reason, just stop spending their money on you. This is how usually at least small businesses have been known to go out of business. And the same goes for big business. Now, I don't think Disney is going to go bankrupt anytime soon, but they are going to take some serious hits. Yeah. And that's the overall consensus right now, is that a trip to Europe is cheaper. And it is. I can fly my parents out here for under $2,000.
Yep.
Round trip. Now, granted, they don't have to rent a car. They don't have to get a hotel, when they come to see us. And that's, a savings in itself. But even if you got a hotel or Airbnb, and had to rent a car, it still comes out cheaper for maybe a week or a 2-week vacation,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see.
I can't afford an $18 pretzel if I'm going to Disneyland.
I can't believe you revealed that on television.
I know. The only other
Again, like I say, you can bring food into the park. Just, don't bring in like a super huge cooler. Tell people, get a collapsible cooler. You can bring your snacks and stuff, into the park. I've seen people roll up into the Connections eatery and haul out all the food they brought in the park. Well, they brought in the park. So I was like, that is all right.
Quick point I'll make is, when I think Disney, I think a CEO who's about to retire, Bob Iger, who they already brought out of retirement, and a company without a succession plan that I'm waiting to hear about, and a company that's lost streaming subscriber customers. I need more.
Well, but Jackie, starting in late 2023, according to the Journal, they knew, their own surveys showed that people were not planning to come back.
Yeah.
They knew this over a year ago.
And so I wonder if there's a correlation, and at some point we can do a deep dive on foot traffic versus price hikes, because I'm wondering if they're making up from reduced foot traffic as a result of people not really, biting on their DEI and wokeness, and parents saying, I don't want to take my kid to Disneyland and have to explain to them, weirdness about which bathroom to use, and characters that are dressed up as with no gender,
or my favorite, the dude who's wearing a dress and a full
that's the
5
big
o'clock
thing.
shadow.
Yeah, that's the big thing, is seeing a man in a dress. I mean, it's funny that this conversation is just funny, because this is exactly what's covered on That Park Place and WDW Pro and here. And it's like, you guys are kind of late to the game. You've been outing these people for how long? And frankly, in more detail, especially getting into Valiant's live streams, because he goes into the financials. I just kind of find it funny. It's like, it's a good try, but a bunch of YouTubers have kind of beat you to that to get the information out.
Because we can move way faster than you can, Disney, and they know this,
Or not gender specific. And so I'm wondering if some of these price hikes are coming from that need as a business to turn a profit, and then
Lou, you're a parent.
I have 4 kids, and the happiest day of my life was not at Disney. It was when my 3-year-old at that time said she never wants to go back again. So,
wow,
that's bad.
I wonder why. Like, I'm just curious. Like, I wonder, for a 3-year-old, like, what was the experience that made a 3-year-old, a toddler, want to say, I don't want to go back? I mean,
it could be the super long lines, because as you know, like, little kids, they don't have that much patience for the most part. So if you're that little, you have to take like 2 steps to every one that your parent takes. There's all these people above you. We're sitting in these long ass lines. And if you're on the quote unquote dining plan, you're stuck with these children's menu options that you may not want, but you have to eat it because we paid for this dining package. So you have to eat that. And I can see it being hot, long lines, can't do what you want, standing in a 2-hour line to see a freaking princess. I can see that, and that's a shame. Because when Camera Girl went when she was 3, she did not want to go home. I used to joke that the worst flight to take is the flight from Orlando back to wherever you came from because there's so many kids crying that they have to leave Disney. I don't think that they want to do this.
My two oldest have been. My two youngest will never ever go. It's just priced out of every American family. It's not for the average American anymore. Forget the politics of it and picking a fight with the governor of Florida. It's just not there. And to Taylor's point, they're just burning capital on the street.
And you've been too, right? You took your kids.
Yeah, I mean, I did not expect to do it on the cheap. I expected
Did
to
you pack
spend
your
a lot of
PB&J?
money. I did not pack the PB&J, but I thought it was going to be magical, like I was going to get on these rides and the food was going to be great and the hotel was going to be big.
I'm sorry to laugh,
not
but
nowadays.
no, not now. I see so many people who just look pissed off to be in that daggone park. Just saying.
And none of those things happened. It felt like a budget amusement park experience at a very high price.
Quickly, what they do have, though, is a cult following. People line up 3 years in advance for that Disney cruise.
People get married at Disney.
I know.
I mean, we have some of those people here.
There's a
Yes, it is probably not now, probably close to $7,000 to get married at Disney, and that's not a big, huge experience. You just basically get a gazebo, an officiant, and maybe a photographer.
Yeah, it's not even including a cake and champagne.
Disney marathon.
Overboard.
If you can afford it, that's the problem.
Real quick, I never went on the rides, but I love those character breakfasts when the characters were still wholesome and and we still could be in awe of Cinderella and Snow White and didn't have to feel bad as women that we loved fairy tales.
Yeah, and the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique is hard to beat.
I'm lost.
One of Lou's favorites. By the way, he loves that one.
It's your new.
Well, actually, yes, it is now. When the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique first came out, it was like a little girl's fantasy. Heck, a big girl's fantasy. You could actually go in there as an adult and get sprinkled with pixie dust. The little girls, they got like dressed up. That was like one thing that Camera Girl had to do every darn trip. And it was hella expensive, but it was so worth it. From how the girls got welcomed and, they had like their own fairy godmother and they would ask them questions and everything. And just
pampered.
So pampered. And after that, you could, if you had a camera, you could take pictures or have one of the cast members take a picture, but they even had a photo shoot area. Oh my God. Remember that? A photo shoot area. You could go there and it had like it had a couple of scenes, but one where they had one of the horses from Mary Poppins. They had that there. And it was just a crazy, it was like a girl's fantasy experience. It was so much fun. Now,
you could bring your own crown. You could bring your own costume to kind of make it cheaper. So you could pick the lower tiered package and not have to get the super expensive package, that included all the costuming and accessories. I did that with my best friend's daughter. We took her for her first trip and she was like 5. And I paid for her Bibbidi Boppity because she's like a niece to me. So I paid for her Bibbidi Boppity boutique that day. And I was just like, wow, where was this when I was a little girl in the 80s? This would have been nice to have.
It was so cool. And at first they had it in the castle. So you could go right from the Bibbidi Boppity boutique right across to Cinderella's royal table. Now they pushed it into the daggone gift shop. Anyway.
Yeah,
that just pissed me off. But that was such a fun experience. And then, then they start, we're gonna have a fairy god man.
It's interesting how these news anchors, they're not making chump change for a living. And even they're saying they're priced out of Disney, but just like an undertone here, I'm noticing it's more than just the cost. It's like that one anchor guy, I don't know his name, said that he felt like he was at a budget theme park, but paying this an exorbitant amount of money. And that's what we've been saying, that Disney is basically, unfortunately, downgraded themselves to the level of a Six Flags park.
Yeah, they totally have. There
And
are people just like these folks on Fox News who it's like, yeah, we could afford to go, but we're not paying that. We're
yeah.
totally not paying it. And people are making conscious decisions. This is what in economics we call a rational consumer. When the price gets too high and the perceived value is not there. And I talked about this on X. If I can't say shut up and take my money, I'm taking my money elsewhere. And that's what
Yeah.
consumers will do. So you can push the price up all you want, but it will get to a point where even people who can afford it without an issue do not see value in it. And they'll just, and they'll just snoop out. I want to get to 2 super chats before we roast Disney's press post crying, we're not expensive. We got value. We have total complete value. And I'm like this.
Well, you know what I think about that, Cal? Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking love that episode.
It's my favorite clip now. You guys.
I'll have to play it again a little. I'll have to play it again a little later. Kiss my grits. Thank you for the $10 super chat, my darling. I appreciate that. Says, forget Epic Universe. Could Disney now be panicking about parks revenue because the USAID gravy train to the studios is drying up? Puts all those bloated, unreasonable production budgets into perspective. That could very well be the case. I mean, how much money has Disney gotten from the UK government in tax credits for shooting over there?
And
And
it still remains to be seen where all this USAID investigation,
Mhm.
all the dirt that's gonna come of it, all the dirty laundry. Just what we know on the surface is bad enough. And yeah, Disney's kind of tied into, it's just how deep and what are the specifics, in terms
Mhm.
of receiving any US aid money. That kind of remains to really be chiseled out, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, to bring to the surface.
That is such a slush fund. I know a lot about USAID, and it's kind of like what my history teacher told me in high school when he was talking about the UN. He said the UN is basically a place for third world countries to beg the United States for money and to crap on us in Israel. USAID is pretty much, we'll just pay everybody off so you like us. And I wonder just how much Disney is getting from that. So Doge, we're waiting for the drop. Totally waiting for the drop. Paul for $5. Thank you so very much for that, my dear. Let's see, what can I hit you up with? Oh, we'll do this one.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And then Bob Iger is all like,
Technically, you
That was
don't
the
need.
best South Park episode ever. Mom, if you have not seen that episode of South Park where they are just ripping on Disney and Iger and all the executives, let me just tell you, you think the
You-
Meghan Markle stuff is funny.
Oh my
To
gosh,
me, this is better.
you just have to, like this one.
And finally, I want to scream, and I'm like, why are they replacing every single character with someone who is diverse? But then Kenny's like, it's not our fault, it's because of Kathleen Kennedy.
It is the best freaking one. You gotta watch it. Technically, you don't need a fast pass. I took my brother and sister-in-law. They did 90% of Magic Kingdom in one day. No fast pass needed. Saved money that way. Absolutely. It's what I've said here and what Eric and I have also said here and over on Pro's channel is that the way to combat that quote-unquote premier lane pass, whatever, get to the park early and have a plan. Find out what time the park opens The parking plaza opens up about 90 minutes before that. If you are in the park, even if you can't get to the attractions, you're still allowed to be on Main Street USA. And then as soon as they let that rope down, boom, they're off you go and can do you'll be amazed what you can do before 12 noon. No one really wants to get up that early, but when you have more money than time, you need to budget your time. And that is the best way to get around it. That's what I've done for years. Even when Pass was free, I still got to the park early because I would go on attractions, go get a fast pass. So we would have fast passes for attractions in the afternoon. So by noon we could go have lunch, go back to the hotel, go to sleep, then come back. Disney does not expect you to be an educated guest. They are making money off of your ignorance. So it's all out there in plain sight. It takes work, but if you're going to spend God knows how much on a trip, you have to understand Disney will take your money by any means necessary as fast as possible. So that's what you got to do. Yep, check under my bed. And Paul, thank you very, very much for your service. One of my favorite jobs was working in the intelligence sector, working on all kinds of fancy gadgets for warfighters like yourself to use. So if you blow up one of my robots, don't tell me, please. Just tell me it saved your life and I'm good. All right. All of us old school folks, LOL. When I was your age, I had to be there early and wait for them to drop a rope. Then I had to run as if my life depended on it for Space Mountain. Yes. It was either run to Space Mountain, run to Splash Mountain, or Big Thunder Mountain.
Yep. I'd run to the back and make my way to the front.
Yeah, go left.
And then forget the parade, forget the fireworks. That's when you ride rides.
Yeah, exactly. So for our last one for the night, over 218 of you folks watching, thank you so very much. Please do make sure you heart this stream over there on X. Make sure you're subscribed to Erica and myself and Ron. The details are down in the description of this video. So you notice this is on the Walt Disney Company's website. And it says Disney offers. Now, with Disney, if you're a commando like, Erica and I are, when bookings are soft, that's when Disney rolls out the discounts. But usually those discounts are not for your benefit. They are for Disney's benefit. Apparently, Disney didn't like being called out by the New York Post. So let's go through this. I'm going to pee on your leg and tell you it's raining. Disney Parks offers everything you need to know. Telling you what you need to know. To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land, Walt Disney said when he dedicated Disney's first theme park in 1955. It's been the company's motto ever since, and the reason why Disney has remained the leader in family travel for 7 decades and counting. I call bullshit.
Absolutely. Sorry. Mouthful.
No, it's okay. I so-called
They used to be the leader, and not since the pandemic. They done shot themselves in the foot.
Started around 2018 and 2020. Y'all just effed it up, but it just shows the hubris what they're doing. CJ says we've been cutting corners for the last 2 decades. Keep raising our prices. Come visit Disney today.
Yeah, exactly.
Good night, Linda. I'll be praying for you, my dear.
Night.
Good night. Good to see ya. Let's see. The number one thing we hear from millions of guests who visit our parks each year is how much a Disney vacation means to them. And we intentionally offer a wide variety of ticket, hotel, and dining options to welcome as many families as possible, whatever their budget. Josh Skinny Jeans DeMayo, chairman of Disney Experiences, said. We also know that in inflationary times, it's especially important to give families ways to save on their visits. We haven't increased the lowest price ticket to Disneyland since 2019, and we recently introduced a kids ticket for as little as $50, to name a couple of examples. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit here. Around 2018, Disney already punched families in the eye for one reason. Actually, I'm going to say two. One, they raised the price astronomically on stroller rentals. How many families with young children? That's like a big budget item, is a stroller. Because it's like you don't want to really bring your own stroller home, have somebody steal it, stuff like that happens. It's like, well, just rent a stroller. They upped the price astronomically on those. Then they start charging to park at the hotels, and that's when the nickel and diming started. You needed to buy, get the fast pass just to sit, at a parade. Things that used to be free to go and sit and watch the parade, like Tomorrowland Terrace or like the Rose Garden, where you just had to get your seat early and you were fine. No, that they charge where you have to pay for those god awful expensive dessert parties in order to get that. So you're saying whatever their budget, what it really is, it's like you don't care about their budget. You just offer what the price is. And it's just like, basically, it's your job to save up for it. So you really don't care about budget. You used to. That's what Disney used to do. Say it's really affordable how long you could stay, and there was value there. But there's no value with that anymore. So once again,
Josh DeMayo in this whole thing, he's lying by omission. He's creating an optic here, and it's a false optic. If you read it carefully, he's mentioning Disneyland, not Disney World. And the discounts that he's mentioning is Disneyland. And they're for the residents there. It's not for your typical vacationer coming out of state. So, but at face value, if you just like read it, yeah, you could kind of buy into it if you're ignorant enough. But if you really read it carefully, it's just it's a freaking word salad in a way. I mean, I don't want to say that because he's making a point. He's just making a false point. It's misleading.
Right, because Disneyland was built around the business model of the locals, which is why their offerings are 9 times out of 10 usually better than Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World's customer base is the Northeast United States and the UK and Canada. Those three. Walt purposely built, when he was going to build that park in Orlando, and Roy said, "You're building a park in the middle of a swamp in Florida. How are you going to get people to go there?" And he's like, "Well, we got to get the people from Northeast to come on down." Sure enough, what do we get? I-95 gets built. Disney buys the ABC affiliates in the top 5 markets in the US: Philadelphia, New York, Boston. I grew up watching Disney commercials every year. That was like a rite of passage. Everyone went to Disney. That whole I-95 corridor, that is specifically, I mean, they built it for moving commerce and everything, but that was basically the pipeline to get from the Northeast to Florida. And if you go to Spaceship Earth and, where they have the globe at the end where they show where a lot of people are from, notice how lit up the Northeastern United States is. And a little bit around Orlando. Florida is a huge state. And for most Floridians, unless you live like within an hour of Disney World, you're not going. It's too expensive. How is the fisherman like out, in Floribama? It's like, no, I'm not going to Disney. It's too freaking expensive. It's ridiculous. So, going on down here, let's see. We know our parks create lifelong memories for families. They used to. And we've worked hard to make a Disney vacation accessible to guests of all income levels. So, this is what the CFO said. With strong guest satisfaction and scores and intent to visit ratings, I disagree with that. Our parks remain the most popular offering in the industry. Let me back up to here where it says all income levels. It's accessible if you have the disposable income.
Yep.
You know, you don't work hard to make it accessible to guests because if you did, those
Parks would be
prices,
full.
parks would be full. You wouldn't have to keep increasing prices on things, nickel and diming freaking everything. So you don't work hard to make it quote unquote accessible. You don't have to work hard at that. You know, I don't see you actively putting out promotions that people can actually use, reducing the prices. I mean, Universal, I think the most I paid for a room at Universal was probably $350 a night at the Royal Pacific. And Universal has hotels that you can stay in for like $60 a night, you know, the low season, really, and not that far from the park. It's ridiculous. All income levels if you want to mortgage your house.
Yeah,
I
or
know some
second
people
mortgage.
I know some people who walked away from their houses because they wanted to go to Disney so bad. I'm like, that is flipping
Yeah,
insane.
no, I would never put my family in a
Mm-mm.
situation like that over a
Okay.
theme park.
It's ridiculous. We understand the financial pressures that families face across every part of their spending, including how they travel. Really?
No, you don't. You're making millions of dollars and have private jets.
I mean,
We
if you
listen to our guests and use that
sure,
feedback. No, you don't. We're over here talking trash about you.
it is
Okay.
it is ridiculous. It's so tone deaf. Totally tone deaf. We listen to our guests and yeah, no, you don't. You don't use guest feedback to introduce new offers and promotional deals. You cut a coupon when bookings are soft. Free dining, you didn't bring that back until you had to. And free dining is not free, folks. You're paying rack rate for the room and you can no longer get just a one-day ticket from one park. You have to get a park hop ticket, which is
You know,
which is more money.
once upon a time, you could get the discounted hotel room and the free dining plan.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, back in the day, you could really, if you planned it right, you could save money and have a decent, and have a decent time in the parks. I know because I used to do that. We would have our military tickets secured because they were cheaper than all the other tickets.
Mhm.
And then we would, you know, get in on a special, whether it be a Florida resident special or a military, discount on the rooms. And then the dining plan, if you got in on the right month, like usually it was August back then. It was when they would throw in the free dining plan.
Yeah.
Or we didn't mind paying for it because we were getting discounted, with the tickets and the room. So we didn't mind shelling out a little bit of money for the dining plan, and we didn't do quick serve. Like we would double up on our points and go to the
Mhm.
nicer restaurants. So we knew we were actually, getting value for our money.
Right. And remember with the hotels, regardless of what level of hotel you stayed at, when they had
Yep.
evening
Extra magic
extra
hours.
magic hour, 3 hours. You would get
3
into the
hours.
park an
Yep.
hour in the morning and
Yep.
then 3
3
hours
hours.
in the evening,
And
and they would bring out the
you could
characters. Sometimes they'd have their pajamas on,
Mhm.
and it was really cool.
I mean, that's like what, about 16 hours in total? You could literally go to your hotel and nap for the afternoon and still have 8 hours in the park when the sun went
Yep.
down and didn't have to worry about the heat beating down on you and you getting sunburnt.
Mhm.
it was like the perfect strategy, if you were staying on property.
Yeah, because the
But
value
they
was there. We saw
Yeah.
that value, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we'll pay a little bit more for, for the hotel room. We'll pay a little bit more for the dining plan, because sometimes with the dining plan, when the park was closed, you could actually like have a dining reservation. So you pretty much have like almost a CMs, to yourself. But that's yet again another value that they pulled out. So here, a world of options. In January, Walt Disney World announced the return of their popular Discover Disney trip. So you get Florida residents 4 days to visit the Walt Disney World theme parks for $60 a day plus tax, but you got to make an advance park reservation, and it's only through May 23rd, 2025. What's opening up May 22nd, 2025?
Okay, but when you break it down at the end of the day, you're still spending 200 and some odd dollars. You're still out of pocket that 200 some odd bucks, even though it's, several days, like even though it's like what, 3-4 day ticket, but you're still out that amount of money. So it's not really $60 per day, because it's not like you can buy a $60 ticket and go for one day.
Mm-mm.
That's where they get you. And then I don't know if they've changed it or not. But you select your dates, and you're only, at least it was like this about 2 years ago. Because we did the Florida resident ticket back in 2022. Anyway, I just remember getting the Florida resident ticket, and it forced me to have to select the dates within that 1 week and a half period. Like it's not like you got a ticket that was 3-4 day multi-pass ticket, and then it didn't expire, or you had until the end of the year to use it. No, you had to use it consecutively. You couldn't even pick like a Monday and then a Thursday and then like a Saturday. Nope, it had to be consecutive. So they really kind of force your hand. They really kind of back you into a corner, and there's just no freedom. And there really is no financial freedom either, because you're still shelling out 200 whatever dollars per person. Doesn't matter if it's multi days or not, you're still out that amount. Maybe there's a name for that kind of economics. I don't know.
Sunken cost. That's what they call it. They call it a sunken cost.
Ah, I
Where
knew
that's how much you're going to have to pay. Anyway, yeah, I have a minor in economics. Economists are so boring. I would do stuff like, hey, you want to lose money or not? Because that's how you lose freaking money. Anyway, there's a 3-day Florida resident Discover Disney ticket for $225 plus tax minus $75 per day. What formula is that? Guests can use the tickets on non-consecutive days before it expires, so they can spread the magic out across more than just one visit. But these tickets are only for one theme park per day. Again, for Florida residents, this is probably good for someone coming in from out of town, quite possibly. But one of the things some people fail to understand is that Disney has not been a very good neighbor in the state of Florida. And most people are not like, hey, I just want to go to Disney and sink all this money, especially if you have to drive from, like, say, Floribama all the way to Orlando. The value is not there. By the time you pay for that ticket does not include parking at the resort or at the parks. Unless you stay at a hotel, then you get free parking at the parks. But if you don't, you're blowing like $30 a day just to park. Unless you park at Disney Springs and take a boat or a bus over to one of the resort hotels and then go to park.
I've done that before.
Yeah, I've done that. We're just like, look, I'm just gonna be cheap today. I'm just gonna be cheap,
Yeah,
and I
if
don't
you're in no
care.
hurry, it's not a bad idea.
Exactly. Hotel, okay, so they have water park admission on the day of their check-in, including their stay. Yeah, if the water park is open. It's a nice park, but it depends on if it's open. And
Isn't that what
25%.
hotel pools are for? I mean, couldn't
Mm,
you just enjoy the resort in the hotel pool?
yes, that's what
I
I used
mean,
to do
and
back
then
in the day.
I know, and then I don't know, fishing out your bathing suit from all your luggage, waiting for your room to be ready because it's not always ready when you get there.
Yeah.
Disney didn't think this one through. Like, it sounds good when you read it or on paper, but like to implement that is, I don't know, like the application is like, eh.
Yeah, I mean, if you have like a whole family that's tired, they've been traveling all day, one of your kids left their shoes on a plane, you just want to get to your room. And it used to be that, you had to carry on, you could stash your luggage at, luggage services if your room wasn't ready yet. You could go to the pool. They had changing rooms and you could just chill out at the pool. Who wants to get on a freaking bus and go to a darn water park?
Yeah. When you've already been on a flight or a really long drive in a van or a car.
Mhm. No one, no one wants to freaking do that. They really don't. But let's see. There's a discount on rooms. Of course, they do that all the time. That's nothing new. When bookings are soft, they will discount the rooms. They say select rooms. So it's basically the hotels they have problems booking. So not Pop Century. Art of Animation will usually go first. Then Pop Century will go. Then Port Orleans French Quarter will go. Those are the three most popular value and moderate items to go. And sometimes you can't even use it at those hotels. So it depends on what they have. And here they talk about the Festival of the Arts, blah, blah, blah. That's nothing new. None of that is new. Yeah, you got a new lion over at Animal Kingdom and a new tiger. Yeah, 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 whatever. Nothing about that is new. Here's the Disneyland offers, that they have. And did you guys see that they're bringing Luke Skywalker to Galaxy's Edge, but only in Disneyland?
Yeah, and then only for a limited time. So it's like dangling the pork chop in front of the dog, but not giving it to him. That's exactly
Mhm.
how they're treating their Star Wars fans. And it's disgusting.
Offers like a child's ticket for as low as $50 at Disneyland can make that first trip possible for many young families. It's pretty much always been that. This is nothing new. It's not the price of the child's ticket. It's the perceived value. If the parents are like, why the heck do I want to drag my kids to Disneyland with high prices, long lines? I'm not getting value for my dollar. Why the heck would I want to do that? So this is a nothing statement right here. It does nothing. And they talk about a survey that they commissioned. I don't know. It's kind of suspect. Revealed that for a strong majority of families with children under 5 said nothing compares to a Disney vacation. Said that a visit to Disney parks gives memories that last a lifetime and can't be replaced. And those who have visited Disneyland or Walt Disney World felt the vacation was worth the expense. Thanks to these promotional perks and offers, there's never been a better time to plan a visit to Walt Disney World Resort.
Boy, they are desperate. Let me tell you. I feel like this is a desperate grasp to get people to come into Disney because they know Epic Universe is going to open in 3 months. And
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering how more desperate they're going to get leading into May. Um, it's funny because they come out with this, but they really open a negative Pandora's box because all it's doing is creating buzz on holding them accountable. No one is believing their bullshit.
No.
Not
No.
even Fox News, for crying out loud. Even Fox is sitting there calling them out. I mean, come on. Like, that's bad. They're really trying to get people in, and at every turn, they're being called out. And it's like, y'all just really don't freaking get it, do you?
No, they don't get it. But if you're just like, well, let's see, how big really is Epic Universe? Let me show you something. And I have to give a hat tip to Dre on this. He got it from Wall and Ballin. This right here is
Is
the
that what I
hiccup.
think it is? What?
Look at this. This is Dart the Dragon.
Oh my gosh,
Like,
I
look
have
at
not
this.
seen this. Hold on a second. Oh my gosh.
This is what
Is it
we're
a
getting.
costume?
No,
Or
it's an animatronic. It
it's
is
an
not.
animatronic?
It is an animatronic. They have had to
How does it
push
work?
the envelope because there were experiences that they wanted to provide. It wasn't just we want to build this land. We want to give you an immersive experience as if you were in the movie. They're going to have dragons flying in the air. Some
Flying,
of them
I
are on
know.
fire. There's
Oh,
some that you can do a meet and greet with. They got dragons walking around. This is one of them.
I would love to see the team member over there interact with it because I want to see what like is it commanding it to do these things?
There's probably, yeah, that's a good point. I don't know how it interacts. I don't know if there is a if they've got an iPad to control it with because okay,
Mhm.
usually they're using the iPad to control how different shows happen and what goes off. And CJ says it probably
Mhm.
had motion sensors. Yeah, because I see
Yeah,
the
because he keeps like he's like waving the team member. That's why I was asking, is it like is he giving commands like with his see how he's pointing and then the animatronic is responding. That's what I was wondering. Oh my gosh. When was the last time you went to Disney and asked, how did they do that?
I don't think I have asked that since Pandora was put
Yeah.
at Animal Kingdom.
This right here, I want to know behind the scenes. They should do a show on the behind the scenes of creating just this alone, make a great like 30-minute or even 1 hour little docu series or whatever. So fascinating.
This is so amazing. I mean, yeah. And again, folks,
You think his
remember,
wings come out?
probably does. They better. They
It's
better.
so cool if his little wings came out.
Like
My God.
a little bit. I mean, when you look at stuff like this, you also have to remember there are a bunch of Imagineers that Disney gave pink slips to that now work at Universal. And the type of stuff that they have coming out is just flipping amazing. Helios Hotel, when you look at it at night, it's got like this clock element on top that glows. And it doesn't look like regular lights. It just, it just glows. Like there's dragons flying around. Uh it is just amazing. Yeah. Yeah. This whole How to Train Your Dragon land, I mean, it's going to be so darn popular with families. They just released stuff about the dining selection, so we're going to be talking about that on Resort
Ooh.
Live on Saturday. All I'm going to say is butterbeer crepes. Butterbeer crepes. I could not freaking wait. Disney is beyond screwed. Yeah, they know they are. Oh my gosh, look at it. It's like, man, I'm such a big kid. I look at this and I'm just like, oh my
Is it
gosh.
just me or is animatronic cuter than even in the movie? Like the eyes and the face just looks very just cute. Like I'm sorry. I just want to like go
It's
like this, you
expressive.
know?
The eyes will close, they open, the pupils probably dilate at the same time. Just, and how excited he gets. You'll see his feet like patting around like that. How cool is that? Like when the little kid
Aw.
gets there and starts doing this.
That is so
This is the kind of stuff
Watch, now
that
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna walk away with one of those, plushies, and I'm not one for plushie toys. I'm really not one for toys. But I'm probably gonna
yeah.
walk away with one.
Yeah, they have a toothless plushie that is too freaking cute. Too freaking cute. And yes, the live action one is cute. It is. It is. We saw that they ran the trailer at MegaCon and people were just like, it looks so alive. Something else. Noah Knox Marshall, thank you so very, very much for being here. And
Aw,
thank you
thank you.
for that $10 super chat. Let's see. I'll hit you. I'll hit you with my granddad's tweet.
All the employees were smiling, and that's probably in large part because they didn't own any Disney stock.
And the Disney stock just keeps going down and down and down. And then Bob Iger is all like,
I love Nelson Peltz. Love Nelson Peltz. Thank you for the $2 super chat, my dear. Says howdy, Lorena and Erica, working on storyboards for Vicarion. As I listen to you two spill the tea, I did use that right. Yes, you did. You did use that right. We start shooting our romantic thriller February 24th. Prayers appreciated. Well, yes, prayers
Romantic
up, my
thriller.
friend. Yes, I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued.
I am and I'm not, 'cause, I scare very easily, and I'm terrified of Halloween Horror Nights. I, way too easily go to bed with nightmares. Unfortunately.
Considering some of them, especially, and I've seen Insidious, when I walked through the Insidious haunted house with the lights on, I was telling people, I said, this house is freaking scary. And it had the lights on. And I'm just like, this is so darn scary. But yet, how they do all that stuff behind the scenes. And that's what used to be so cool about Imagineering. It's like, how did they do that? And it's almost like for me as an engineer, I'm like, yeah, I could figure out how they do it, but I don't want the magic. I don't want it spoiled for me. That's how I know when I really like it, when I'm like, I could figure it out, but I really don't want to figure it out. So I hate horror, but watching Lorena streams at HHN makes me want to go.
I agree with Arlene here. Yep.
Arlene.
100% is exactly how I feel too.
And Bob Iger's all like, yeah. Yeah, my dad. Oh my gosh. That episode was just too fun and absolutely hilarious because of how they clown Disney. And it was, we weren't sure, but they went after Disney. They were just freaking brutal. I mean, when Bob Iger talking and there's this picture of, Mickey because he's dead looking down on him. He's got like that mafia pose going on. It's perfect. But speaking of perfect, you guys have been absolutely amazing. And I think this show we've had the most viewers that we've had. So thank you so very much for hanging out with us. Erica, what do you have going on? And let the folks know about.
Hey, DL Fendel.
Yeah, but just in the house.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got happening, darling?
I got a whole lot. Just stream hopping lately on friends' streams, wherever I'm invited. I usually say yes. Yeah. Still going through that dry spell. Probably be that way for a hot minute.
It happens. It happens. No worries. But folks, make sure you subscribe to Erica, especially her perennial recipe. Oh my gosh, you have to go and you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, my
Speaking of
Cuban
that,
roast pork recipe. Mm-hmm.
I just took out
For
some
those of you who don't know, since we got new viewers, I am half Cuban, so I do have one of our family's recipes up on my channel. I know there should be
Ooh.
more, but I at least have one.
Well, you got to go and check out her channel. Of course, she also does appearances over on WW Pro's channel. As for my girl, you know where you can find me here on YouTube, on Instagram, over on X as well. As for what I have coming up tomorrow, I will be on the Dark Council show, and if you think we just scratched the surface with Beau DeMayo's video on the Dark Council, we will be breaking the entire video down, and you're going to get a very different perspective, especially as we put together this is what we thought then, and yeah, this makes sense given what we heard. So you definitely want to check that out. Of course, Thursday, I got to do it because I would rather save y'all money. 8 p.m. on Thursday, I will be reviewing Captain America Brave New World live. The first half hour, I do non-spoiler review. The last half hour, I do a spoiler review. I will let you know, under no uncertain terms, exactly what I thought about this film. So you definitely do not want to miss that. I'll have a video review coming out, but you want to hit the live review as well. Also, make sure that you subscribe to Ron as well. Got his link in the chat. It's always. Tia says, excuse my confusion. Doesn't Captain America come pre-spoiled as in rotten? Yes, and I don't think you can cut off the rotten part and salvage any of it. We're gonna see. Well, you folks are awesome. Thank you so much for your support of the Spice Lounge. We hope you had an amazing time hanging out with us. Let us know in the comments what you liked about the show, your comments about the show. What do you think about Beau DeMayo spilling the darn tea about X-Men 97? Definitely let us know. You all take care, and we, of course, will see you next time. Bye.
All right, everyone. Let's tidy things up.
Autobots, start your engines!
Not under the rug. We'll keep singing without fail. Otherwise, we'd spoil it.
Ready, Prime, let's roll.
Hosing down the garbage pail and scrubbing up the toilet. Woo!
That's all, folks.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.